Hi guys, so this is my Draw My Life with an Eating Disorder. So let's get started. My name is Claire and I was born on April 19th, 1998, making me currently 17 years old, and I was born in Toronto, Ontario. I was born to my mom, Anna, my dad, David, and they had a son named Justin who was 4 years older than I am, and then they finally had me. My family was always close knit. We were best friends growing up. We did everything together from riding our bikes, we went camping, we built campfires and roasted marshmallows, which was my favorite part. We went on so many family road trips and lots of family vacations that I'll never forget. We were inseparable. As a kid, I was involved in lots of team sports. I was really active and I loved playing hockey. I was involved in soccer. I did basketball, track and field. I joined gymnastics and ballet. There wasn't a sport that I didn't try. But the one thing I really did love was playing outside. So after school, I would run home from class and I would gather up all the kids on the street and we would play ball for hours and hours and other sports to the point where my dad had to yell at me to come inside for dinner, and I was stubborn and I would say no. But I never had problems making friends as a child. I was always really confident, I was outgoing, I was friendly, I wasn't really shy, and it had never been an issue for me. So, fast forward to middle school when I guess you could say all of my problems began. Throughout my life, I've always been pretty small, but I gained a little bit of weight when I was in middle school. And this is mostly because I stopped playing sports, I was less active, and I was eating quite a bit of junk food. And this was also because I had problems regulating my appetite. I couldn't tell when I was hungry, and I didn't really know when I was full. And this weight gain never really bothered me until the point where my parents were making fun of me. They were making comments about my appearance, telling me that I needed to lose weight. And because of their hurtful comments, I started becoming really self conscious. I was comparing myself to other girls. I thought that everyone was better looking than I am. And I felt really sad. I did research on the computer, I watched TV, I read magazines about these beautiful women who were so thin and they really looked like they had their lives together. They had big houses, they had lots of money, and it just looked like they were perfect. I was so jealous and I wanted everything that they had. So my solution was to go on a diet. I was going to stop eating breakfast. I was only going to eat fruit for lunch. I was only going to have a small salad for dinner. But when I got home from school after doing all of my activities, I would be so hungry. I would run into the house and I would eat everything. And because I would break my diet, I really beat myself up. I thought that I was going to be big forever. I thought losing weight was going to be impossible. This was also around the time when my parents started becoming really strict with my grades. They wanted me to get A's all the time. They wanted me to do extracurriculars, and I was really just trying my best. So the combination of stress from wanting to be thin and wanting to get really great grades, I felt this intense pressure to be perfect. I really wanted to meet not only my parents' expectations, but mine as well. But despite my issues with my body and with my parents, or my grades, I had a really great group of friends. I was actually doing really well in school. I was getting A's in almost all of my classes, and I was involved. I was on the school council. And I was happy. I didn't have much to complain about until grade 10 started, when halfway through the year, my dad got a job offer at a new accounting firm in Ottawa, which was 5 hours away from Toronto. And my brother and I really didn't want him to move. We had all of our friends in Toronto, but we had no choice and we packed up our car in less than a month and we moved. So when I got to Ottawa, at my new school, I wasn't really making any friends. It seemed like everyone had their own cliques and I was on the outside. I try to keep in touch with my friends from home, but they never responded to my messages and it seemed like they were moving on without me. So, to escape the pain from moving and losing my friends, I started running and I joined the track team. It was something I really fell in love with. My parents knew that something was wrong and they wanted to talk to it about me, but I really didn't want to speak with them. I was upset with them for making us move, and I still held that grudge for making all those comments about my body. And as I continued to run, I trained almost every day. I lose I lost around 5 pounds and I was so excited. I thought that I could finally have the body that I wanted. I could be like those girls on the TV and on the computer, and I could be beautiful. I could finally be happy. So I started cutting out certain foods in my diet. I stopped eating bread. I cut out junk food. I researched all the calories in the foods I was eating. I researched ways to boost my metabolism so I could lose weight. I wrote down everything I ate in a journal that I kept under my bed, and it really became obsessive. I weighed myself at least 4 times a day so I could track my weight loss and make sure that I was eating the right foods. And I set a goal weight that I wasn't going to let go of. I needed to reach that weight. And because of this obsession with weight, I really started doing poorly in school. I couldn't focus and my grades really slipped. But I thought as soon as I was skinny, everything was going to get better. So eventually, I developed this intense fear of gaining weight and becoming fat. I really didn't want to look how I was before, and I developed these fear foods that would send me into a panic if I even had to think about them. I was exercising obsessively for hours of the day. I was running at least 10 kilometers, and I was so tired, but I was so motivated to lose this weight. I also started restricting my calories significantly. I would only let myself eat a certain amount a day, and I just kept thinking to myself, only 5 more pounds. I was cold all the time. I was constantly shivering. My hair was starting to fall out. I lost my period. My lips were turning blue. I isolated myself from all of my friends and all my family, and I was really tired majority of the time. So this is when my school counselor pulled me aside with my parents and kind of sat me down and told me that she thought that something was wrong. I had lost a significant amount of weight since I had been at the school, and she was concerned for my health. She didn't think I was okay. And of course, I was in denial. I didn't understand where this was coming from. I didn't think I had a problem. I wasn't skinny. I was eating. I wasn't sick, so I didn't understand why they were doing this to me. I was referred to a psychiatrist where, based on my signs and my symptoms, he talked to me about everything that I was doing and diagnosed me with anorexia nervosa. And this really hit me hard because I didn't understand the full extent to what I was doing to my body. I didn't understand how this was happening. How do I get better? Why did I do this to myself? So my family and I went to an outpatient clinic where we had a team composed of a psychiatrist, a nurse practitioner, a behavioral therapist, a social worker, and a registered dietitian who were going to help me with my recovery. So they increased my calories and they told me that I needed to eat at least 3 meals and 3 snacks. And the social worker worked with my family so that they could take control of my weight gain, my renourishment, how much I was exercising, the calories I was eating, the foods I was eating. And I was actually really upset with my parents. I was really scared, but I voiced all of my concerns to the behavioral therapist when we worked on our individual sessions. So I told her all of my concerns, and I told her about where everything started in middle school. And with the registered dietitian, we kind of created a meal plan where we would incorporate more protein, more fruits in collaboration with my parents. The nurse practitioner monitored my weight, my blood pressure, my heart rate, and my heart sounds, and she asked me how I felt in order to make me feel better and to make sure I was healthy. And slowly but surely, I was making progress. I had gained 5 pounds, and I was starting to realize that being skinny wasn't everything. So, fast forward 2 years later to right now, being 17 years old, and I can honestly say that recovery was the hardest thing I have ever done in my life, but it was also the most rewarding. I finally gained my life back. And that's not to say I didn't have hard times. I definitely had lots of ups and downs, but I made it. Recovery is possible and it is worth it. I made so many new friends after I recovered. I was warmer. I could sit through family dinners without fighting with them. I could drink hot chocolate on cold nights and I could eat ice cream on hot days, and it was wonderful. Being thin could have never brought me what recovery did. So, thank you. This is the end. And my name is Erin Simpson, and I am from Queen's University.